produces the best of us. We deal with problems and we solve them. We come with innovations. You should. One of my professor Chigundu, he was from University of Dar. By the way, I want to let you know my experience at Makerere. I studied political science as my first degree and sociology. Whenever he read long words, he would swallow as if he has chewed a ground nut, because he was saying we must crack these problems of white people and we must be better than them. So I am calling upon you, my brother, that in this current time when we are dealing with the problem of we're dealing with a problem of student hunger, a humanitarian disaster of our best, call everybody on table. Don't delay. And secondly, don't ask for mercy from Nawangwe. Right. We must make Makerere great again. Nawangwe must apologize to us. He must apologize to the students he suspended. Right. He must apologize to the parents whose children have got into so many diseases because of his neglect. Look, if Dorothy Chisaka was fighting director because of criminal negligence, why should Museveni leave Barnabas? You can't fire Dorothy and you leave Barnabas. If Barnabas, Professor Barnabas, is criminally negligent, these students that they are dying, this girl that you saw dying, that Chambogo now is panicking, these are all political maneuvers. Students are dying. You see, for me, I'm a pastor. I will tell the thing to you direct. Because for me, I fear God. That is number one. I'm neither political. I'm not coming out, whatever. But these people have become fond that whenever students express discontent, they say it is a political thing. They say it's people power. Hunger is not political.
Was the suspension over hunger over their demonstration?
There was no demonstration.
So what did you go to?
They went to express that they are hungry.
Yesterday, Pastor Ssempa, you were in the company of these suspended students and you were seeking legal redress from whichever place it was.
No, we went to the Uganda Law Society.
Law Society.
We met Mr. Isaac Ssempa.
Yes.
And he was very helpful to us, telling us that Professor Nawangwe is illegal. He says he has battled with him for 8 years because Professor Nawangwe's militarism. Okay? He suspends students. He suspends them indefinitely, and he had taken him to court and has several judgments against Professor Nawangwe. So where we are is that the Uganda Law Society has released 40 lawyers. Look, I want Nawangwe, where he is, to go and change his witch doctor. Because if his witch doctor has been telling him, use the medicine of suspension, that witchcraft is no longer going to work. No. This using of letters of dismissal, letters of suspension, that witchcraft will no longer work. Let him go and get another witch doctor. Because we have appealed to the Uganda Law Society. You know, when you have an administrator who uses power, intimidation, when the message is very simple, the students said, we are hungry. What did Nawangwe do? He called the police, militarism, arrested the students and threw them in jail. The boys are being beaten. They are being forced to wash toilets and latrines. Look, I am personally very annoyed. I want Professor Nawangwe to know that we, OBs of Makerere, alumni, we are very annoyed at him for reducing Makerere into some kind of a secondary school thing. If Makerere was a private secondary school, Nawangwe's actions would be acceptable. But turning our girls into prostitutions, turning Makerere into a place of human trafficking.
What was the policy like before?
We had what is called universal, tertiary education. In the same way you have universal...
Thomas Wamono, please get close to that microphone.
Yes. In the same way we have what is called universal primary education. And now many of you may not know. And this is, unfortunately, there's two key policy issues you need to know. Number one, the forceful imposition of World Bank telling government of Uganda that abdicate providing universal university education freely. Feeding, education, welfare for all the qualifiers. But focus that only on primary and secondary school. Yeah. So it told the government, run university as a business. So essentially the current policy in place of privatizing tertiary education is to turn Makerere into a private what? Business, income generating. They told us sell the assets, turn them into a business, become capitalistic. So what has happened is Professor Nawangwe is overseeing a World Bank policy which was imposed on us. Now, NRM in 1990, when they had just come to power, they did not have money in the bank. And they wanted to borrow money from World what? Bank. Now, World Bank put as a precondition a very undesirable quote that you must privatize and turn tertiary education into a what? A business. So that is where we are. That is what government stopped providing me in my days. I'm the last generation. I'm the generation of President Mao. He was our president. The late Mayombo, Kulaije. These are the people from my generation. We never worried that there will be no breakfast, lunch, or supper. There was no classes on the weekend. Sujui, you have to. No. The dignity of Makerere, my friend, what are you talking about? There was even free money that was given to us called allowances. And when those allowances would come and were given, these free allowances for research, what, and when they were given, students, my friend, one day would be booming. Those who drink alcohol would drink, those who party would party, and Makerere would call it called boom. Say boom. You have to have the round boom. So whenever boom would come, my friends, you don't know the joy of Makerere. People would be around. Kampala would zoom. So education is also includes welfare. What do you mean teaching a person who has not eaten collapsing in the class? As if you are, what are these people who love to see people suffer and they enjoy pain? There's a certain term, okay? People who they enjoy seeing. Narcissists are very focused on themselves, but it is, I will look it up in a minute. So those two policies, Makerere University abdicated its role of focusing on welfare of students because they could not get money from where? Government, and the budgets were not enough. It is to me what bothers me that the bureaucrats are sitting in their places, and the students who are coming from these are the best students from our country. This is our future, but they are malnourished. You can actually see. So when Nawangwe says, there is nobody hungry at Makerere, and yet 68% of the country is malnourished, and you are seeing the same in front of you, and you are saying we must do something. We must do something. For me, we can't sleep.
Before we can have...
It was a good place to be in.
What years were those?
I left Makerere 14 years ago. Yeah, just like Pastor Ssempa said, there is Nawangweism in Makerere. I was about to think there is Ssempaism in the studio here. And now I want to speak as somebody who went to a university called Makerere. When you invited us here, you wanted us to talk about public universities, the welfare of public universities.
Yes.
We have now reduced to this talk show to Makerere University. I want to speak.
It is because it's the case study. Makerere, okay. Chambogo, Must, and others.
Fine. I don't think the problem is Nawangwe. And Pastor Ssempa is not being sincere.
Oh.
You read
maybe you guys should be a little far apart.
No, it's not being sincere.
I'm happy. Being a university, this is where ideas, by the way, this is where ideas are contested.
Yes.
Please bring your win.
Yes.
Let us hear you.
If you read the article that establishes public universities and other tertiary institutions,
yes, I have.
of 2001,
yes, I have.
you understand that it establishes several players into the management and the welfare of university students. The first is Uganda National Council for Higher Education, which is a regulatory body in as far as university education is concerned. Where is it in these issues of students in Makerere? It also establishes a chancellorate, headed by a whole chancellor. Where is he in these issues of welfare of students? it establishes a university council where the guild president is a member, which is a policy-making organ of the university. Where are they in this issue that you're talking about?
Why are you asking about them?
Of course, they are players. At the end of the day, they draw salaries, they draw wages and allowances of this country.
I do not represent them. Do you represent them?
No, you represent a congregation which is also part of the establishment. And that, and for you are doing your part. That is where I wanted to congratulate you.
Thank you.
But the other players, where are they? Okay. And above them, there is the Ministry of Education and Sports. Where are they in this issue of the welfare? Now, at my time in Makerere University, yes, I know that students were feeding directly from their halls of residence. I'm now told, and I continuously go there, and also buy food in those places. I know that a plate of food in a hall of residence at Galloway Hostel in Makerere is 5,000. You have said they count 4,800.
4,500 shillings per day.
Per day. But a meal,
a
single meal is 5,000. If you want to eat just a piece of beef, it's 5,000. Now, where are the players? And that is where I agreed with the guild president. And he said, let us involve all the stakeholders in the affairs of Makerere University. Now, Pastor Ssempa, you sound like your target is Nawangwe. You understand?
I don't think so. I would like to say...
no, I said you sound.
No, I don't. I'm not actually against Nawangwe.
Yes.
I'm actually, I said before, that the policy, as you can tell, yes. I'm very educated. I have a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and a PhD. Yes. I don't like focusing on individuals. In fact, when we started off, the guild president, they were fighting each other. Yes. I don't like that. I don't like individualism. But you see, at the end of the day, if Professor Nawangwe is the one who is imposing the policy and is not giving the feedback, you see, we need to do an audit of the 30 years of the World Bank policy. Yes. How is it impacting the students below? And the information is coming up that we have a huge humanitarian crisis. But what does Professor Nawangwe do? He calls the police. He tells the people like us that we are lying. Those who speak out, we are called that we are looking for a job. I told Professor Nawangwe, I'm not looking for a job. For the record, my wife is American. I can be able to get a job as a truck driver to drive garbage, you know, like an achievable up deal. Yes. Nawangwe makes 22 million shillings every month. Yes. A person who drives a truck driver in garbage driving in America makes between $58,000 and $180,000 a year. I can make more money than Professor Nawangwe as a vice chancellor. That's not what I'm doing. In fact, for the last 25 years, I have invested deferred salaries into the students of Makerere University to the tune of more than $8 million. But I have never received a single phone call from Professor Nawangwe to say, Pastor Ssempa, and people like you who care about the welfare of people, we want to thank you. Can you come? Let's sit down at the table. What can we do to help you? But he's very focused on protecting his job. So when I began standing together with the students, he sent me a text message. I have it over here. I'm going to show it to you. He says, Ssempa, you are now fighting me. I said, is your name Hunger? You see, we are fighting hunger. Nawangwe here are fighting what? A job. There is this obsession of people protecting their jobs. Meanwhile, underneath them, there's a massive humanitarian crisis. So that is, so to me, it is 98% the policy. Because if you change and you get another Nawangwe 2, Nawangwe 3 without the change of policy, it will just be the same. Nawangwe is just enjoying his 22 million and the perks he get from being a vice chancellor, per diems and others. But to us as parents is the betrayal of our daughters being reduced to prostitutes. Is our sons dying?
Pastor Ssempa,
no, that is criminal negligence.
Stop intimidating.
If you can be able to fire Dorothy Chisaka, Luyimbazi, because of 33 people who died.
3 minutes, eh?
No, let me finish this. We are talking about life and death. I don't want to reduce it.
I also
to
don't
talk.
want to be intimidated
So,
because
if President Museveni can fire Dorothy Chisaka, my very good born-again friend, and take her to court for criminal negligence, why do you leave Nawangwe? Why?
Thomas, complete so I
Yes.
can bring on the suspended students.
Yes, I know that I joined the Makerere in 2007. And at that time, it was Professor Lubovi.
And just for the listener out there, this is not a recording. It's just about 9 a.m. Standard East African time.
Yes. I know that I joined the Makerere University in 2007. And at that time, it was Professor Livingstone Lubovi. And there were prostitutes around Wandegea. So I don't want to attribute that.
Thomas, yes,
But
Now-
those were they students? I don't want to obfuscate my point.
Pastor Ssempa,
What my problem is this.
I am...
At that time, they were prostitutes. There have always been prostitutes in Wandegea,
Yes.
in Katanga.
Yes.
Gentlemen,
But at that time, they were but I'm talking about today.
Gentlemen.
It is offensive that our daughters, to be able to survive, those who have come from Namagunga, those who have come from Maryhill, those who have come to Bweranyanje, those who are... These are the best of us, but they are being reduced to prostitution.
I have...
Now,
I
Pastor,
have-
let me go to
I
the
have-
point of
Okay,
Rubega.
I have the feathers for the microphones. Now both of you are off. Let me make my point.
Okay.
Yesterday I was speaking to a parent, and he's one of us at UBC. He said that his son lives and resides in Africa Hall, but apparently the rest of the halls no longer have dining halls from the reality that it was back then.
Yeah, that's
dining
true.
halls have been turned into learning spaces, and so food is something learners and students in a whole compass of an encompassment of or an embedment have to find from the outside of the university. So that is becoming an issue, and somewhere somehow it's being denied. Of course, we have the suspended fellas in studio.
Yes.
They'll be telling us the reality.
Okay. Of course, we continue to interact
have a
with...
minute, just
yes,
a minute.
we continue to interact with the Makerere University as the former alumni. And we know what is happening there. I know that what is lagging is the involvement of the stakeholders. And that is
Yes.
what I wanted to agree with the guild president
And me.
and you. And I know that
Thank
Makerere University has different sponsors or funders. And the biggest fund of Makerere University is the government, through paying wages and salaries of teaching staff and non-teaching staff, and even paying for students on government and giving their allowances. We will need accountability of that money. We also have the second contributor as a parent here, those who are on private sponsorship in Makerere.
Actually, it's the other way around. The biggest amount of money coming into Makerere now is coming from the private students.
Yes.
It's no longer government. So it is the parents who are sponsoring these private students, okay, giving tuition. That's the biggest amount of money that Makerere is getting. So indeed it is true. Those are the two big stakeholders. Please
Yes.
continue.
And we also have donors. I can see some projects in Makerere University. And we also have projects done by Makerere University itself. And all these people, stakeholders, sign MOUs with Makerere University. So we need to understand, at the end of the day, how can these students staff
All right.
when we have
Put a
this
pause.
all sponsored?
Put a pause.
That is very true. In fact, Carnegie Foundation is donating money for about 1,000 students.
Yes.
When you look at the budget that they drew, that Nawangwe drew to feed the student, to take care of the students on the basis, the minimum amount of money, actually, if you want to come and provide a scholarship, is 3 million shillings for welfare of the student. It's 3 million. But if you look at how much money is being put out on the Carnegie Foundation, students have tuition, you have welfare, transportation, health, book allowances, these allowances, counseling and guidance, what, so many things. So actually, it is true that Professor Nawangwe's administration knows what it actually costs
All right.
to adequately care for a student. But they are not willing to say there is a huge shortfall which has caused a humanitarian crisis among students.
Let's find out. Is there a huge shortfall? We have with us the trio of suspended students, and we'll have asked them to stand with me because we want to prove a point. If they fall, I'll know something for sure. What's your name and the course that you're doing together with... yeah, please.
Let them also come.
Please.
My name is Opera Francis.
Opera Francis.
Yes, okay.
What course are you doing? Which year? Which session? Or which evening program? Morning program? Which one?
I'm doing Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering day program.
Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa. At what stage are you right now?
I'm in second year.
Second year.
Yes.
What happened to you? Why the suspension?
The suspension came after we, the students, we went for a peaceful demonstration.
Wait. We, the students.
Yes.
How many?
We were almost 100 in numbers.
And only 3 were suspended.
And only 3 were suspended.
Why you?
Why me? Me.
But why did they go? Let them tell us why they went. Don't jump.
Of course.
Hey, why did you go?
Me personally, I went there because, we are angry. I went there because of anger. I went there because we don't have things to cook and eat. We don't have the money. We didn't have the money to get what to eat. That's why I went there.
Could you just clarify? Because some people are hearing anger or hunger because of his pronunciation as a joke. Can you what are you saying? Hunger as in not having
feeling
food,
hungry,
or anger
as in
being
annoyed.
As in not having something to eat, like that feeling.
So, how eventually does it end up on you and your 2 colleagues as the only ones suspended? Were you the ringleaders?
No, we were ourselves. Only what happened was, as we were telling our friends to move back, that's when the police pulled us. Yes.
So police comes into the picture, and then eventually a suspension falls your way.
Yes, police took us. They took us to Wandega police station, and then afterwards, in the evening, we saw suspension letters.
Wow.
But it is necessary to note there was no broken window. There is no throwing of stone.
Let's hear from the other 2 gentlemen.
My name is Felix. I'm a Bachelor of Social Science. And I'm in my second year. Somebody can ask why the 3 of us, and you know that by the fact that we come from the region where people are not supportive, our people have not gone to school. So the only thing we are looking up to is only the allowance that provides us with everything. Personally, I'm a non-resident student. I reside outside. I reported in August. Not even a single coin that I'd paid for the rent. So the landlord has been patient for all that. Remember, electricity is paid, water is paid, everything. So eventually, this month, I was thrown away because there was no sign of thrown out. So our going there was not because we were going for other people, just because personally the situation was overwhelming. On my side, I could not afford soap. You need to print the annals, you need to buy what. So we thought maybe we could go there and ask. Then from there, from the gang of the people, they told us money will be deposited at 11. That very day on Friday.
11 in the morning?
In the morning.
Okay.
That very day on Friday. Of course, unfortunately, nothing happened. So as we were going back telling people to go back, me, I was behind telling people, let's go back. So I was pulled by the DPC. So I saw my colleague came like asking him to give me, just to release me. They also called that one, JJ. Then I saw again this man being brought. So that's how we ended up being in Wandega police station. And the main concern, personally, I feel the way we were suspended is not healthy. Because even Jesus himself, when he was caught, they did not just kill him on that very day. He was subject to some process. Yes, he was taken to Pilate. So we also wanted that. And when you look at the letter, you cannot suspend us until further notice. Yet you have not copied the letter to the committee. Yes. We expected, we wanted to go to that, we were taken to the disciplinary committee, then the disciplinary committee will now judge us and recommend us to the Vice Chancellor.
Where does it leave your fate? Exams are falling in.
And that's not the only worry I'm having. That of course, what they are claiming that the strike was there, but there was nothing like a stone, not even a stick. We were just there. Even the policemen were there. and nothing happened.
So without allowances and the likes, what have you been doing? Have you guys tried anything like a hunger strike?
We
In
have,
your situation of hunger.
But why? What are you saying?
There's
Hunger
a reason.
strike?
There's
What
a-
is hunger strike?
Pastor
They don't need
Ssempa,
to do a hunger strike. They're already hungry. No,
Pastor Ssempa,
what is being
this
is
a
put
cross-
at stake? No,
this
what
is
is
a
being at stake here
cross-examination.
is the academic destiny of this young man is being put on the altar
Yeah.
of Nawangwe's job. These people came and said, "You are throwing us out. We are no longer staying in the hostel. We don't have the allowances." And what does Nawangwe do? Instead of being a parent that says, "Young people, sit down, let us talk," he unleashes the militarism force on them. And then he throws false accusations that they are violent, which is absolutely untrue. And these are the things that make us annoyed. He's getting ready for exams this week. He should be sitting down to prepare.
He's ready for exams. He's not sure.
He's not. But you see, there are three violations: the right to food, the right to shelter,
Now the
the
right
right
to
to
exam.
education. Okay, the right to education. All these rights, these are fundamental. He came to tell Professor Nawangwe that my right to food and my right to shelter had been taken away
Pastor Ssempa,
because of delaying and not paying the allowances.
yesterday, you as an advocate were trying to seek justice in the legal and from the legal system, fraternity.
Yeah.
How does the kind of advocacy you got fall in to help them sit their exams?
Well, you see, these young people, when they don't have someone who comes alongside them to help them as an advocate,
What ruling did you people get?
they are pushed in a corner by the bullies like Nawangwe. But I came alongside. Me, I don't fear Nawangwe. I'm equally educated. Please, I want this is
what
important.
did the legal
This is
system
important
help
because the first
help you
crime
with?
is bully. Many people want to help, but they are afraid.
But Pastor Ssempa, you're bullying
So
us.
when we went to Uganda Law Society, and we met President Ssempa, he listened carefully to them,
Yes.
and he decided that Uganda Law Society will come in to represent the students of Makerere, and he dispatched 40 lawyers.
All right.
40.
Okay.
So he wrote letters to Nawangwe to immediately rescind, because those suspensions
Yes.
were illegitimate. Because the suspension is supposed to have a timeline.
yes.
Number two, the first person to copy is the disciplinary committee. There was none. Number three, the students who had been arrested by police had been given police bond, and police expected them to go back to their places of residence. Professor Nawangwe goes and chases them out of their place to stay. Okay, those who are in the in the halls of residence, they didn't have a place to go. Do you know what is happening to young women? So when I'm saying to you, if this is a girl, please excuse me. What is happening? Because this exactly fits in.
What is her predicament?
Predicament? They will be sleeping on the streets.
Yeah.
This is why I'm saying that the unconscious, forceful, militaristic effort of imposition of this World Bank policy, it is not Nawangwe, it is a World Bank policy, being imposed on our people without humanity, is creating a crisis of Makerere is becoming an urban refugee camp where you buy girls for 3,000 shillings, boys are emaciated, academic destinies are dying, and when they complain, This is the worst part. It is spun into a political thing. Now, it is convenient for opposition politicians to come to Makerere to become, because Nawangwe wants to make this an issue of political opposition. This is not an issue of politics. This is an issue of the language of the stomach. This is an issue of the language of education. But because Professor Nawangwe is not leading to call people like us, look, you've called me. You've shown leadership. Why? You saw that these people were having trouble. You reached out to me. I'm very busy. I didn't even want to come. But you showed leadership that this is a vital conversation that the country must have. Professor Nawangwe does not call people. The dean does not call people. The University Council chairperson, Lona, she's not calling people. The new council, the new chancellor is not calling people. Look, leadership, as I know it, is if you have a problem, you call people to sit around the table.
Well, in studio with us is one of the students. And which kind of course are you attached to? Before you can tell us the whole
And the student group that he was leading.
Yes, I'm Jamarika Isaac, a student at Makerere, doing Bachelor of Urban Regional Planning at College of Engineering, Art Design and Technology in my 4th year. I'm the former chairperson of government student.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this whole situation and what is going on, what do you make of it? What is this situation that's going on?
Actually,
How did it get to the point where
Actually,
it is?
before going to the point, I will start by, at the beginning of this semester, always we do get our money when it has taken like 3 weeks.
Delays.
Yes, the delays. Yes, we understand normally delays, though we have never got a clear explanation why the money delays, and yet the ministry normally release the
Disburses it
yes
as
early as possible, but we don't get the clear information. Yes, I remember by September, when the money has taken long, of course, leaders try to write a letter to the administrators, calling them to have a meeting with the students and some leaders, but administrators, yes, they refused to respond to the letter, whereby leaders wanted to sit down with the administrators to find out the reason why is the allowance delaying. So when leaders saw that administrators are not showing up after 2 to 3 days, leaders came out with some students. They went to the administrators until the administrators saw that there's a large number of people coming. They gave them a hear of saying it's okay, we can sit and we discuss on such matters. That was mid-September around there. Yes. In that meeting, they said there was a budget cut of 8.6 billion, whereby we asked the administrator, was that part of our allowance that was cut?
But by the way, just in case you're listening to us, but you wish to be seeing what's happening in studio live, visit TikTok. In case you are on TikTok, you could visit TikTok. That is Martin Ssempa Official. Martin Ssempa Official. That is the TikTok account. And you'll be seeing these proceedings as is in studio. Please continue.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, in that meeting, they told us there was a budget cut of 8.6 billion, whereby we asked them, is that 8.6 billion a part of our allowance? They did not answer that. But they told us already they applied for supplementary budget, even before that meeting. Already they applied, so they're waiting for the Minister of Finance to approve the supplementary budget. Okay. Yes, we as students, we kept on waiting. We said, it's fine, let's wait. When it reached to August, whereby leaders started receiving information, whereby students were very hungry, students are being chased out of hostels, leaders, we tried to approach these custodians, trying to explain to them, please, first wait, give students some time as we are waiting for the money to be what. But custodian could ask, when is it coming? Because we need to know when is it coming. Then we leaders stood up, we said, now what should we do? Since the supplementary budget hasn't been approved, people are dying of hunger, what should we do? So we came up with a cry of saying, please, anyone who's there who can afford, because yes, people lacked what to eat. Those are non-residents. Now resident students who stay inside the hall, remember they just have to buy food. They were actually also facing a lot of challenge. So we tried to come up with our cry. Yes, I really want to appreciate Pastor Ssempa. He came in, he came in, he gave us some food. Yes, new people also called us. We went there. Yes, they told us to take some students. We took students who were badly off.
Those students were actually denied. Makerere University administration, I was actually speaking to Matthew Sema and one of the former IT bosses, saying these were counterfeit personalities, not Makerere University.
Those are students. Those are students whereby we are the one who directed them to go there. But we told them they should not go in large number. Those are students.
Now, comrade, first of all, it's quite unfortunate that all that is happening at the university. We need to agree. However, I want to bring in the aspect of Ubuntu. Imagine I am entitled to the allowances, food, and etc. So under circumstances, because we are dealing with hunger in this context, under circumstances that money is, you don't have that money. The university has not released the money. Should we say you will remain hungry, you will not eat, you will not improvise? Like when you go at the university, you are at the mercy of the university. We understand they have that role to play because it's a commitment, and that business has you don't have any business with that. For you, you need money. You have to ensure you're in the hall of residence. You have to ensure you have money to do even other small things. Should we presume that you have this analogy that the university is in charge of me? I cannot do something for my own, even providing a meal to myself to ensure that I am steady and strong enough to go on with my academics. For hunger specifically. The others, accommodation, etc., that's understandable. It's a huge commitment, which for real you can't get the money to pay for the entire semester if you're not working, if you're not being paid. Please.
Your question is good, like a relative sense, 5K. But when it became worse, most of the students, even including me, started depositing the funds for money.
Oh.
That was the thing, because it became too much.
Now you see,
Yes.
you see, all of us.
And also your background. Maybe he did.
Yeah, me personally.
You tell him about your background.
Me, I come from Naka Preparate.
Yes, you mentioned.
Yeah, because even yesterday people of NTV were saying, why is it that it's only you from the same region who are caught? We said problems differ. Maybe those other government students, there are people who are backing them up. So for us it became...
It would have made good sense if we got someone from Bududa, where Thomas Wamono comes from, being suspended as well.
Then there now, that one would also explain his background.
But this
Yes.
one, this is, you see, you've seen street children in Kampala. Stop pretending, guys. Let us be real. You see, a student expects that the administration will do something. But it's not only the administration. I want to respond to this issue. The failure of Nawangwe's administration is the inability to call all other parties on board. Because what I hear your question saying, can we innovate? What if the money delays? You see, around Makerere, there's more than 100 churches who have a passion for the university students. Kampala Baptist Church, Watoto, Full Gospel Church, Deliverance Church. You have so many churches. And these people have as their mission to reach out to the students. But there is a disconnect between the administration, which is aware of these delays which affect the students, and those who want to do good. There is NGOs in the country who want to help and serve food. You have Red Cross, which comes to the emergency. But there is the necessity to keep appearances. This is what bothers me. And I found this in many Ugandan places where there is political appointees, where the leader who is appointed politically is unwilling to express the utter disaster below them because they must continuously appear good. So when the students went and told Professor Nawangwe, we are hungry, even when it is obvious that people who are being given donations of food, you have donations from Noop, you have donations from pastors like me, you have donations from other well-wishers. What does Professor Nawangwe says? He pulls what I call Fred Enangaism. You know, remember how Fred Enanga used to spin? That drone is not a drone, that is a star. Those are Nigerians. So now, what Professor Nawangwe, in fact I call him Barnabas Enanga, because now, what Professor Barnabas Enanga is doing, he's looking at the factual reality of a humanitarian crisis at Makerere, but he's diverting. People like me, Pastor Ssempa is talking about it, he wants a job. This young man from Karamoja, he's a violent criminal. This one is a political operative. Now they are even going to look at probably this program and say it was paid for by somebody else. You see, I am so annoyed at this nonsense. Young people are the best resource of Uganda. In the same way we have fought for coffee. You know there is a fight over coffee. Me, I don't think coffee is the best thing of Uganda. In the same way people are fighting for oil. I don't think oil is the best thing for Uganda. The best thing for Uganda are its young people.
The views expressed on this program and not necessarily those of Magic 100 FM, management and the entire...
To ensure that you are okay. I understand you come from Nakapiripirit. Most of us know the issues rotating around that area. Now, that also informs policy. Should now the policy be amended or quelled to consider students from their regions because of the unique problems that they face at that aspect? Because there is also the issue that why is it that a certain category of people that were on strike or those who are suspended that are coming from the same region, meaning the problems they have are similar in nature. And to deal with that person like my brother here, you need to be extra cautious as a human being, as an individual. So to me, I think the issue has to do with a little bit of policies in that regard. But yes, you have.
It's not that we need to be treated in a special way, but for all along, these allowances have been disbursed in time, and I've never had any complaint. In as long as it comes in time, we can budget within the little we have gotten from the government. That's the only thing.
So in your narrative, you're saying you're budgeting within the little that government is giving.
Yes,
But
provided it comes in time.
But you as an individual, okay, first eliminate government.
Yes.
The entire picture.
Yes.
You are a student.
Yes.
They are supposed to clear where you are supposed to sleep, right?
Yes.
They are supposed to provide money for meals, right? You are sleeping, but there is no money for meals. Do you stay hungry? Or you eat?
No.
Because you're trying to tell us you are technically unable.
I don't understand
to
this.
provide
I don't.
yourself.
Let's just flip it, because I know sometimes when the person to study, and then when there are delays, and when there is failure to provide those monies, you seem to be blaming those students. You see what is happening here? I would have been annoyed at them if they stayed in their rooms. Because you see, university training is the capacity to train someone to critical thinking, to leadership, to asking questions. And what I'm actually very worried about is the new curriculum that we have. It is focused, it is student-led. It's a wonderful curriculum, okay? Yeah. Now, with Nawangwe kind of administration, they don't like students to sit down and ask questions, okay? There is a dissonance between the two pedagogies or style of leading and teaching. We have raised now, we're just beginning the high school curriculum, right? That is senior 5 and senior 6, where they are going to be entering the university. But this is the kind of motivated, critical problem solvers that we want. They go to the university administration and say, look, we are being thrown out of our halls. We have been starving for 3 months. We are hearing all sorts of statements. The vice chancellor was on the television, NTV, saying there is no problem of hunger. Now, when you are hungry and your administrator is saying there is no hunger, you come up and demonstrate. Okulabisa. In fact, one way tuli kulabisa njala. Leka musoke mutuleke. Abane njala. Abane njala. So I'm coming on that. I'm coming. Kulabisa njala.
What did the post-mortem report show? Did this girl die courtesy of hunger?
I'm going to come to that point.
Okay.
Coming back to this issue. I would have been disappointed if these students did not go to the university